Okay, we are live. We're going to call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. And we'll start off with our invocation. Jay, would you do us the honors? We'll stand, and if you would, please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right. Lord, we come to you tonight. We're thankful for the gathering that is taking place here and the agenda and all the stuff we're going to talk through tonight. And we just ask you to put your hands on the council and the citizens of the city of Walnut Grove and just let discussion flow and people listen and decisions get made. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jay. All right, we'll go on to roll call. All of council are present, so I have a full house. And we'll go on to agenda approval. Are there any additions, deletions? Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
First is by Erica. Second, is there a second?
I'll second.
And then Rachel seconds. Is there any discussion?
Well, I was trying, you said, are there any additions or changes? I had heard something about discussion of our time for,
It's at the
I
bottom.
Number
believe,
8.
oh, you added it. Okay, I'm sorry. I brought my own copy. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Thank you.
okay.
So that's a revised, okay.
Is there any further discussion?
Thank you.
All in favor of approving the agenda, please raise your hand. It is unanimous. Thank you all. Okay, we have a lot of things to discuss tonight. I've shared with our city administrator as he goes down the list. If we are at a point and we are at a stalemate and we need further discussion, we will go ahead and table to the next meeting. So we will go ahead and get started. And as you can see, there's no old business, but there is new business, and I will turn it over to Mr. Morris at this point.
So the first piece of new business are website proposals. And we have two here.
Wait.
There should be two in the packets.
Okay.
Granicus and Civic Plus.
Okay.
We're going to move on.
I don't see Civic Plus.
Is this in the papers that I gave?
That is for mass notice.
What?
Mass notification.
Did you not make a
Civic
copy
Plus.
of your
Agenda packet.
That was emailed. I didn't bring that.
It's behind this. It's stapled to it.
There it is.
Oh.
Thank you.
That's the Civic Plus. What's the other one?
And the other one is
This
Granicus.
one.
Okay. All right.
So both, that's also for mass notification.
Then I don't have anything else.
You can look at mine if you like. There they are. Those are the two websites.
All right, so is this mass notification, this one?
No, that's Civic Plus website.
Okay,
The one she had is also red, but it's different.
okay.
And that is true, they all look very similar as far as their proposals and templates.
All right.
So both of these companies are leaders in the government industry, especially for cities and county management. Both of them have a long list of cities that they serve. Granicus, they serve some communities around us such as Social Circle, they serve Winder and Atlanta. Civic Plus is probably the most commonly used by cities that are professionalizing their websites. You'll see them in Monroe, I believe Walton County uses them, and I believe Athens also uses them. So they're both two very good companies. They both have their own external security systems to make sure they're up to date with their cybersecurity measures. They work white glove process, so as they go through, they work with us, talk us through the steps of designing our website, making it more ADA compliant, and all the current update systems that a website could have. They're all low to no code, so we'll be able to do it in-house, any updates we need to our website. Much like you see with anything that you may have used in the past, such as a website builder that you can just buy online. Similar to that. It's so easy to use. Yeah, Wix. So very easy to use and 24-hour, 7 days a week, able to call in and get assistance if needed. Both of them have lower than a 2-hour call rate, so if you call them and get no reply, within 2 hours they will call you back with a problem addressed. Granicus in their proposal, it does take them longer to actually go through, create the website, do the designing, and get it implemented. Civic Plus's timeline, I think, was about 8 weeks total. Civic Plus we also already have a history with. As we're doing Municipal, they own Municipal, so they will, no matter what, be a part of our website with Municipal. If you look inside the proposals, you'll see the pricing, and these were based off of very similar information through conversations with both companies, what our needs are, solutions that we need, and a lot of, to highlight some of those. Right now, until we have more businesses and things of that nature, we are a community where people commute. So a lot of things that they want to do are online, whether it be bill pay, if we can start renting out ball fields and stuff online, that will help us out for administrative purposes, getting information, things of that nature. And so they all receive that information. And if you look at the pricing, there is a drastic difference between the two companies. And so we'll start with Civic Plus. I believe it will be a standard website. There's no reason to go for the premium website. Their one-time standard implementation is $850, and annual subscription fee is $4,664. There's also add-ons that we can have, and you can see that in the proposals tonight, mass communication systems. One of those things is mass communication, but I couldn't get them with a scheduled appointment until tomorrow. So that information will be available immediately after that appointment with them. For Granicus, theirs is a little steeper. One-time fee of $27,000 for implementation and training and putting the product out there. They both offer very similar solutions. And I've had 3 meetings each with both companies, demos set up. I do have copies of those demos to send out to the city council as well. Just want to get this information out there first. So that's the information on the websites, and the whole proposals are included.
One question.
Yes.
On the Granicus, it says, Granicus Web Enhanced Package. Is that gonna be, it is $27,000. So I don't think, anything lower than that is gonna be a whole lot lower than 27 grand. But is there a package underneath that?
There is. So they do have one package underneath it. They did give me a pricing for that based off of what we needed for our services. Because I really let them know, we're a small staff. The administrative burden is the biggest piece of our website. But the more we can put on our website for citizens to utilize. And this is what their solution was for our needs. And that was the pricing that they did for that. And then for Civic Plus, they only do 2 options. Granicus actually has 4 total options. And this is the second level.
Okay.
So it does go up 2 more levels.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Will both of them accommodate billing for garbage collection?
So
And
both,
payment for garbage collection, and then also business license?
so they both have the capability to add whatever billing software we use. Civic Plus just came out with a new utilities billing, and I do have a appointment with them about that. It is a very new software, so there's not been much live testing with cities yet. But both of them have the capability to add to the website, and then when you click on the link, it does send you to a new window, but it looks the exact same as your website.
So, iWork offers
permitting, business licensure, that sort of thing, and we currently use that. We have not expanded into that. Would that translate well to a Civic Plus ran website?
Yes, so a little bit about iWork and their public-facing features.
Mhm.
We don't have that as part of our licensing agreement yet.
Right.
We would have to purchase that service. Right now, it's just internal functions. But if we wanted to have, say, a complaint form through iWork where it instantly downloads to that system and sends the notification to that department, that will be able to go on either website. And it's the same concept as their building.
Perfect, thank you.
I also see Municode on the Civic Plus, which is what most, people that use, codes in the state, that's the platform that they use is Municode. Does this one offer that as well?
So it will be able to go on there.
Okay.
It's just Civic Plus owns Municode. They purchased them, I think, 2 years ago. Right after we signed a contract with them to redo our ordinance. Civic Plus owns Municode. And then, we've already paid for that feature, so that can go on either way.
So it won't be an additional cost for, okay.
Why are we looking at this?
So, we're looking at websites just for a solution. It's kind of what I said at the very beginning is our community, a lot of people are commuting out of town for work. And when they come back in town, we do run into issues where they have to either take time off work or they have to rush there before we close to be able to pay a bill or
Rent the ball
rent the
field.
ball fields and things of that nature. But it's also an administrative burden issue. So, for instance, using the same example for ball field rentals and things of that nature, when people come in, our clerks have to do it manually, take the payment, or on the phone, take the payment, and those add up throughout the week. That could be a 30-minute conversation with just one citizen. And then the more that happens, then obviously throughout the week, we're probably losing 4 or 5 hours per clerk,
Gotcha.
just from doing simple things like that. Or complaints, when citizens have a complaint, and then they have to come in and list those.
Gotcha.
The information that we have on our website right now, can it easily be transferred over? They'll work with us and ask what of this information do we need over here? Is that correct?
Yes, both companies will do that.
Okay.
And both companies are in the initial phase. Only one I know for certain is it's the first 2 weeks for Civic Plus, and Granicus takes great pride in, they call it the white glove procedure of implementation, and that's taking all the information from the old site and then going through it with us to see what we want to make sure is on the new website, anything that should be archived, making sure we can archive those as records, say it's meeting minutes from 2010, and doing it in a proper way on the website as well.
Do they have the ability to do scheduling on calendars?
They do.
Okay.
Both websites have that ability.
I have a question. I had sent a website, or web builders, webmaster name. I don't have it with me. Did you reach out to them?
Currently, these are the only 2 that I have.
So we don't know if they would qualify and provide this service or not.
No, we don't.
And I don't have their name with me. I definitely would like to do that and look at some others, because I think the size of our city, while, I'm familiar with Civic Plus and whatnot.
What's the concern? Do you think it's too much money for the city of our size? I'm sorry, I'm putting words in your mouth, I don't mean to.
I don't know that there's a concern, okay? But, yeah, looking at the amount of money for basically an information site, granted, we're trying to convert and get away from that to some degree. Until we get to that point, I think, a company that we can maybe do intermediate and then move up, once we're ready to do billing online, once we're ready to do all of that.
Well, we are there.
Okay.
We're gonna have billing needing to be done.
Or we're gonna do billing online, or we're gonna do billing
All
and
of
have
it.
payments online?
Both. Yeah, even if it's just payments online, we're at a point where Why spend money on
And
something?
payments online are typically handled differently than billing online. It's a very different system, so.
We're at a point where we need to be able to do scheduling and payment for
Right.
ballparks, for this, for pavilion, payments for,
Permit.
everything.
Right.
Utility, everything.
Permits,
Yeah,
business
everything.
licenses, yeah.
I think we're there, and, I don't have any
And
issue
then-
with going and checking out
right.
some more things.
And that's why I'm asking about the other company, because I'm not saying that we're not there. Granicus, in my opinion, is out of the ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have that kind of money.
Well, for our needs, they're, I won't use the word I want to, well, greedy is almost what it seems like, you know, because you can type thing. Whereas Civic Plus is certainly much more in the realm of where we should be.
Yeah.
So that one company, they do specialize in small cities. I would like to reach out just to have a comparison to this, is what I'm saying, that I think might be closer. Now, they may not offer all the service, I don't know. I haven't checked for all of that. It was just one I ran across and started looking, so.
I think this sounds really good.
I'm just excited about a new website.
Will they integrate with
That
things
works.
like
For me too.
LinkedIn or any other places that we want to post job openings as they come open through the city? Would that integrate with our website?
Yes, much like it does right now, it'd be more of a link and we'd open a new one.
I will tell you that I talked with Civic Plus extensively at conference. And I am not at all concerned that they have the capabilities to serve all our needs there, even as we move up. So as the company in particular there, I'm not concerned with that portion from them.
The base inclusions are, I feel like that's definitely more than what's offered on our current website. And then the way that you can pick and choose the additions to match our needs, I think that's great.
And I think that's a big reason for the big price difference, is here it's all included in the price, and with Civic Plus, it's parceled out.
Right.
Doesn't Civic Plus also offer services similar to what we get from our current IT person?
For the website, yes. They are expanding services all across
Okay.
the board. But for the website, they would actually now be our website IT.
Cool.
And that's for both of these websites. And most websites that we would look into have that capability.
Yeah, I wasn't so much sure about the website. I'm thinking in terms of if we were looking at different IT people, service, that sort of thing, would the pricing possibly be different if we were looking at like a combined package if they offer that? Because that's essentially what we have now. We have, Selective Solutions and that other company, which is owned by the same guy, that do the website, but he primarily charges us for the.
Currently, we just pay $40 a month, guys, for hosting that website. And then we have to call the owner of the company to ask him to make big changes right now, or we have
Yeah, and
a
he
resident
charges us,
expert do it.
yeah, he charges us for any service he provides at that,
But this is a very user-friendly type of
Right.
thing with our city clerk couldn't
Yeah.
yeah.
maintain and make changes, or our city
Yeah,
administrator.
no, this is
or
definitely the
whoever,
type of site we need.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd really like to see on our website that we don't currently have now besides bill pay would be some sort of integration with our Facebook page so that it would post our date. Every time there's a post, it would just update. So we don't have to worry about updating the website. And that way we could make posts that would show on our website at the same time. I would like to see that.
I'm
And
not
there's a
sure
way to
that's
do that.
practical
There's just not a way to do that with
security-wise.
WordPress.
It's interesting you say that. So both these websites actually have the ability in a way. But with some of the proposals I'm going to show you here soon with the mass notification system, those proposals, and with Civic Plus when I get theirs tomorrow, they do that in that
Cool.
software system.
Great.
And those will be on a page on our website.
Like that. Any other questions, guys?
Sue,
No,
everything on the bottom of this one in Civic Plus, it says ask me. So that'll be an extra charge if there's any of this stuff that we need.
If we wanted to add any of these at the bottom. So what's included is the base inclusions at the top. And then they bundle, say you pick certain ones, some of those can be bundled together as well.
Right, so like mass notifications could be a phone call, or a text message, or a Facebook post. And that's what it means by scoping necessary. They've got to figure out how many numbers we've got, how many people want to subscribe to it, how many residents do we have, how many, that sort of thing. And that's how they get their pricing. So that's why they say scoping necessary.
Yes, and I do apologize, I didn't understand the question exactly, but essentially these are a lot of these are new services, so and it's exactly what Councilmember Davis said. A lot of those have to be fleshed out to your specific need, because if we had 40,000 residents, that's a lot more texts and phone calls. So when it comes to like mass notification for them, they're gonna price it based off of our population. And if they do geo-tracking, then how many square miles and
All right,
yeah, I want
Yeah.
to study this a little bit more. Joe, you got to do a better job getting these to us in advance.
sounds good. And the next item is gonna be a zoning text amendment for M&M beer processing.
What are we on now? Oh,
This is what we're putting it while you're here. Did you not make a copy of your packet? No, did y'all not print it?
I never print
I got it
out.
on email, I didn't print it out, no, did not.
what we're gonna do from this point on is we're gonna print the packets, we're gonna put them each in the mailboxes.
Okay.
If they don't come pick them up, we'll bring them with us to the meetings.
Okay.
Good? All right, that's what we're gonna do. Let's move on.
So zoning text amendment, just a quick little procedural thing there. It's not a variance, a lot of people get that confused with a variance. So this is more of an amendment to update the text of our zoning ordinance. So in this case, what it's talking about is land use inside certain zones. So right now, currently, because of the way our permitted uses are inside of our zoning ordinance, there's nothing talking about recreational game itself. The gentleman that created this application wants that in the city for his own private business. And we had to deny his previous application due to the fact that the only thing we could call it was meat processing. And you're not allowed that in that zoning area where he wants to put his business. So what he has to do is go through this process, which requires a P&Z meeting, public hearing, which will be on the 14th, and we did advertise for that, right before our city council meeting. So he has done that. He has applied for a zoning text amendment. Inside of it, he is requesting in agricultural districts to be able to open up a business for recreational game processing.
I have a question on that.
Yes.
Are we looking at putting it in as permissible or conditional?
And that will be up to city council at that point on the 14th. After the P&Z meeting, they'll give their recommendation, and I will bring that up there as well. That should be a recommendation based off of permissible or conditional. And then currently he did put for ag, but that does not limit city council to be able to say if they want it anywhere else in that regard.
Disposal of the remains that are not processed. Are we, should we put in there how those remains need to be discarded?
So that would also come to if it wants to be conditional use, but I think DNR also has stipulations on how that has to happen. So they have to be still in line with their license with DNR, but at the same time, they would have to meet any requirements city council placed on this kind of regulated business.
So I couldn't find any DNR regulations of how they had to dispose of them. There was three options.
Oh, I did.
There was bury them 2 feet deep. They don't, that's not recommended close to water. and how close he is to the watershed, I don't know if that would be an issue. Bagging them and throwing them away, as long as the landfill doesn't have anything to say about it, would be an option. And then composting them is the third option, but that's also not recommended near water. So there's something to think about. We may want to ask them to bag them up and have them discarded.
Would they have to have a commercial dumpster at that point, or a hazardous waste? I mean, I don't think Southern Sanitation's gonna be happy about picking up
I actually spoke with
animal
DNR.
carcasses.
Oh, what did they say?
Well, they have to follow the regulations set by DNR and the Department of Agriculture. And they have to follow their guidelines for that very specifically. And so if there's like a water source that's a problem for that, then they're going to be rejected for that as their resource of their way of doing it, according to him. If, like the cleaning, I was concerned with the runoff and going into the sewage or the septic, whichever would be there. And they indicated that, there's not a real big issue with that. But he did say that most of the places don't have a problem with that sort of thing if they're processing only deer. He says, but a lot of those places, the caution would be to make certain if we're looking at deer processing that we make it clear that it's only deer.
The reason that, so he has already been processing deer. He had a license to process deer from the city previously. So I'm wondering how he was disposing of them at that point. And another issue with the carcasses remaining on the property, will it being that close to the town center, if he is composting or burying them, that's gonna bring in predators like coyotes and stuff like that. I want him to do this in the city. This is gonna benefit my family personally. We're hunters, and so I want him to be able to do this, but I don't want it to be a problem for the city.
We're neighbors
On that note,
Right.
on this other side.
on that note, have you approached other cities to perhaps see what they have in their land ordinances that do provide provision for meat processing?
Yes, I could only find one city where they allow it outside of agricultural, and that's actually Walnut.
Oh, okay.
As
They
you
have
know,
one almost in town.
yeah, it's right there in their, commercial district. So they have their second level commercial district, where you have like shopping centers, things of that nature. It's right outside of that. And to my knowledge, that deer processor actually has to physically take them to a transfer station. And I think that's the way they do it there.
Yeah.
And then I also would advise M&M Deer Processing that they will have to, this question would come up, and he needs to be ready and prepared to answer his proposed way of disposing.
I feel like Jay had something to say.
I do. We need to look into it a little bit more, but my hunch is that state law is gonna create all of this anyway.
Okay.
So y'all don't really need to worry about it. The Department of Agriculture and DNR are gonna create with you.
Yeah, EPD.
So,
Okay, good, great.
but we'll look and make sure that's the way it is, but I don't think. y'all-
I got all the codes here you can have.
So then my next question would be, whose job would it be to enforce?
It would
Set
be
regulations.
both the city and the state. So if he's doing something wrong and y'all know about it outside of what he's allowed to do, and the city gets a call about it, it'd be a call to state.
Okay, got it.
But they're all,
Imagining that's the
they're
way it works.
inspected regular from what I can understand, and
Thank you, Joe.
So this does not include taxidermy. That was taken off of
I mean,
the
they can
state
take
law.
it, they can take it to the landfill.
There's no application for zoning tax.
Okay.
Joe, I just want to clarify one thing. You said that there was a P&Z meeting, and that's on Monday night, the 4th of August?
Monday the 4th at 6 p.m.
P&Z will be hearing that, and then we will be reviewing this and having a public hearing at our council meeting in August.
Monday, August 4.
August 4th for P and Z. Council meeting.
Do we know what time?
7 PM?
7?
7 or 6?
6 PM, sorry.
Sorry.
Did they
6 p.m.
change to 6?
They've changed to 6 also.
Okay.
And that's the public hearing.
What is the time, when?
All right, this P and Z is meeting on August 4th at 6 PM.
Okay.
The public hearing, which has been advertised properly, is being held at our next council meeting, and where we will be voting on this.
I got
Okay.
So at our August, whatever, 13th, 14th, wherever around there it is. Okay.
All right.
August 4th and August 4th.
And if something comes up, we'll be made aware, but more than likely, it's within the parameters of what is.
I think the state's gonna
Yeah.
outrule you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Joe. And thank you for working with Mr. Mamu.
Yes.
Oh, no worries.
It's nice that he was able to come to a meeting, speak with you, and get things figured out, and this text amendment is a resolution for him. And from what
I got
you
a
shared with
copy
me,
on the
he's
computer.
very
If you
pleased
wanna
that
take that.
we're at this stage.
Yes, thank you.
Great,
Please.
great. And as we move on down to mass notification system proposals.
I would like to say surprise. So currently we only have 2 proposals from mass notification systems. I do have an intent tomorrow to meet with Civic Plus about theirs, and one more, I believe they're called
Code Red?
Code Red, that's it.
Okay.
So we will have 4 total. I
Okay.
just wanted to go ahead and get these proposals to Civic Plus.
Thank you.
So the 2 proposals, we have Up Ahead. They're based out of Utah, but they service nationwide. And TextMyGov, they're also based out of Utah and serve nationwide. TextMyGov is
I didn't like it.
their proposal is very similar. Both of them offer GIS tracking of the city, so they send equipment down here at no additional charge, and they do a GIS mapping of the city and rooftops. And that way, if we have a notification that we want to send out, such as a water main break or anything like that, we can text it up just to those residents that are affected. Or if power outage happens, things of that nature. If you look at pricing for Up Ahead, they do a monthly package. I did ask if they do annual. They did tell me they'd have to get back to me on that. They do have a one-time setup fee of $2,000 and monthly $299. TextMyGov has a one-time fee, and it is for the first year $3,000 because they have a $500 setup fee to integrate with the website as well, and then a $2,500 annual fee after that.
How much?
$2,500.
2,500 annual. So that would be. $200 bucks a month, yeah.
Additionally, with TextMyGov, the one difference that they have versus Up Ahead is they integrate with NOAA and their weather reporting system, so it would automatically send weather reports of emergency nature to the citizens versus us having to physically send it out once we get it.
Which one has that?
TextMyGov.
Thanks.
I had to look at these in a hurry. I don't recall. Do they have phone calling as well as texting, or just texting?
They do. Both companies offer phone calls. as
Okay.
well. And then we can do this from any website hosting we choose. There's a format where we just go through the back door of our website and text in whatever message we want. It can be events, hazards, weather reporting, and it would send it out to anyone in that system. Both of these companies do go out and find numbers initially that is already with companies' parent systems. So anyone who's been subscribed to, say, something, political advertising, and their company is hosting it, then they would already have their contact information for our area. They would automatically put it in there.
So we have an intergovernmental agreement with Walton County. Walton County runs our water. The water main goes down. Would they be able to send out notice on these text messages to our citizens, or would that be up to us?
It would still be up to
Probably
us, but I think that's something we can work on based off of, building a better relationship.
No.
Not that we don't have one now, but
Right.
just some personal relationships between
Yeah.
employees.
Would the alerts go all over Walnut Grove or just the city limits?
So it would only be city limits, and, yeah, there's just city limits.
In regards to that, a question I would like to have asked was, can we add non-residents? I know when we had Code Red, we could do that. They could call to City Hall and ask to be added even though they're not a resident, but because they're very close, they could ask to be a part of that. And we had like a buffer there for that. So that would be nice to know.
And I'll clarify a little bit, it's city limits for the GIS tracking. So if we wanted to parcel it out, that would only be city limits. But I'll get more clarification from both companies. I don't think there's anything limiting them to sign up, because that would be a sign up piece on the website. I don't believe there would be anything limiting them to sign up through our notification system.
But that would increase our price if we had more users using it.
Right.
That was just our theory so far for Civic Pluses.
Okay.
I don't have theirs yet. This is a flat rate for these two.
Okay, okay.
I
So we
don't
can-
mind being the bearer of that news. I'd be very hesitant providing services outside the city.
I would
Yes,
too.
Be very hesitant to what?
Provide services outside the city limits.
Yeah.
Okay.
We provide services for our citizens.
Right.
They're the ones who pay
Citizens.
taxes.
Well, I was thinking more of just the, alerting for the ones that are like right on the fringe.
They
that
want to
we're
be
trying to get
annexed
in.
into the city.
Yeah, annex them
That'd
in.
be
Bring
great.
it in.
It's
Okay.
different if we had a tornado siren, but we're talking about sending out, hey, we're having a fair today, or hey, you can go to the library and get donuts tomorrow, or we could send out anything
Yeah.
we wanted to on this mass notification.
And I'm assuming all have it set up where you can sign up for different portions if you want to receive only the weather alert or that sort of thing versus
There's
all the
probably a way
notices.
through the website too, that if you want to be, or Facebook, you can sign up on Facebook for things.
Yeah.
If you want to know about activities and whatnot. But this other thing is for our citizens.
Yeah.
They're the ones who pay the taxes. That's the service we provide to them. But bring them on in, let's annex them.
Yep,
Let's get them all in.
yes, right now.
Everyone's
Now
welcome.
taking applications.
Okay. All right, Joe. Any else guys, on that one topic? All right, let's keep moving.
Okay, so next we have sanitation. As everyone knows, we did vote to put the offset on the residents to pay for us. And at the same time, that means we need to find a service provider and start calculating our bill payment. So the first initial contact we had was with our current provider, Southern Sanitation. They gave us a breakdown of the current rate that they charge, and they have assured us that they will not be raising any of that rate, and it's going to be the exact same as it currently is. And just speaking from experience, the more you open it up, usually the higher the cost gets. For instance, wine in Georgia, there's 5 or 6 companies that go through there. I think the cheapest is around $40 just for trash
A month?
a month. So usually exclusive contracts do get this is better and better for all roads.
How much is it per month, you said?
Out there, it's about $40
Okay.
for the cheapest.
Where did
What do you
mine
pay per month,
go?
if you don't mind my asking that private? Do you mind sharing?
I pay around 46, I think is around where I pay, and that's for trash and recycling.
Per month, not per quarter.
Per month?
Per month.
So they're still gonna continue to pick up recycling, eh?
They are. It's part of that service.
Cool.
And one thing I'd like to highlight is we are not only smaller in population, but smaller in the number of roads.
Great.
So 2.5 square miles. If we have trash coming in for services multiple times a week, I cannot imagine what that traffic's going to look like for school.
From different
Now
providers.
that it's coming in.
Right.
So
Instead
I'd
of
just
just
like
doing a
to
contract.
put that out there as well.
Not to mention the wear and tear on our roads.
Right.
Garbage collection vehicles have some of the biggest wear and tear on roads. So if we have one provider and they go around on one day, and they said it just normally happens on one day, unless it's commercial, it's a lot less wear and tear on our city streets, which means a lot less repairs.
I did notice they've reduced the pickup for yard waste.
It says 3 yard waste bags per week.
Right. It's been 6. Yeah. All you had to do was call the day before to let them know, and they would pick up as many as 6 at no charge.
Oh, okay. I have no idea. I just burned my stuff and burned it between 1 October and.
What other steps have we taken as the city to get commercial information, and how far along are we before there's a contract available, do you think?
So currently, we had our code enforcement officer go around to each business to see what their current needs are. He found what kind of dumpster they were using, where it was located, are there more than one businesses utilizing the dumpster on the same property, such as a shopping center, things of that nature. And then we had our deputy clerk call around to find out the exact size of the dumpster, if they knew it, and how many times a week it's being picked up. We didn't ask about their current service provider or their current pricing, just because a lot of times that's a exclusive contract between them. Well, with that information, we'll be able to get a good idea of the commercial needs in the city, and then we can feed that information to civil sanitation for a full proposal to include commercial, because they just standardize it for us.
Okay.
And then that way we have a good idea of what their cost is.
And then they can be our contracted provider for the whole city.
Are there, go ahead.
One more thing that civil sanitation ensures on was replacement cans will not be charged. So say someone hits your garbage can or anything like that, they can come out and
Now, if you put fireworks in it and it melts the can, they will charge you for that.
Yeah.
It does happen,
Oh, I was gonna say, how do you know?
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
happened.
Call Rachel, I have to.
You got something to tell us, Steph?
No, not me, not me.
That's what I was getting at. I was just kidding stuff.
that was actually their example.
Okay, I bet it's more common.
But I will ask about the garbage.
Call Rachel, she has metal trash cans.
And keep in mind too, this price here is what we will be doing, but there will be a service fee and admin fee put on this for the processing of all of the paperwork and the billing and everything like that.
Yeah, plus
for the
I'm,
city.
I'm assuming we're gonna have to get new software in some format. Now, part of that may
Yeah.
end up within the website
Right.
process.
Yeah. Now, we'd like to say, a lot of these built-in softwares don't usually have an additional cost. They make their money back from
On the
service
back end,
charges.
yeah.
Right. It's usually averaging around 4% at most. But on a $16 charge, that's still, even with an admin fee, I don't see it.
Yeah. But I think we probably should just come up with a flat fee for this first 6 months that the citizens are gonna have to pay it. And even if the city has to eat a little bit of the total cost for that 6 months while we figure out what our actual costs are, is probably the way for us to go at this point, so that we can go ahead and start notifying citizens what it's gonna cost and give them as much notice as possible to plan for it.
And I completely agree that, especially with this gives us a good idea of what that charge would look like. And we would not be too far off if we had to estimate the service charge. I think this is a good, strong first step to be able to be realistic about that price choices.
We have a lot of seniors in our community who are not technology savvy. If they are not able to make these online payments, are they going to be able to come into City Hall and make their payment?
Absolutely. So they'll still be able to call in if they need to. They'll still be able to come to City Hall with an issue. And that's for all of our services. Whatever we put online, most of it will still be able to do inside. We just know that there's a reluctance more and more every year of people coming inside. And that's just, as technology advances, more people are going to.
Are we gonna have the option of billing where you can be billed online or have it mailed to you? I know a lot of my neighborhood, they still want that mail billing to come.
I will say, that will be something for City Council to decide, but that will increase our pricing. Because
My neighbors don't even have internet, much less email.
Right. That would, printing and shipping that out would cost more to the city.
Right now, Southern Sanitation sends out a postcard, quarter-page postcard, bill, with all the information on it. You can either mail in a check, it's all right there on the quarter page. So that's something we can decide upon. But
Another thing
I
that-
think for the older population. it's
Also,
important.
they do that quarterly. So are we will it be an option of
Yes.
paying in advance quarterly or yearly instead of paying it monthly.
I think it'd be a better idea if we just offer quarterly.
Or the
I
annual
think-
and do
yeah.
it.
It's not really gonna be an option, but it will be an
Okay,
And it will be in advance.
okay.
Yeah. The city did before where they billed after the fact and had a great deal of trouble with collections.
So these first bills should be going out probably in like November,
If
if they're gonna start
at
in
least,
January?
Yeah.
Okay.
One more question. Is our ordinance set up to provide that trash service with the city is not optional? Like, I know some people say, oh, just bring my trash. No, we know that's probably against the law.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
You need to make it mandatory.
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say, I think this city tried that before, and it was a code enforcement nightmare,
Right. Not
from what I recall.
Well, we talked to-
that burns his garbage.
We talked to Buddy about that too, and there's a gentleman's consideration between garbage collection companies, that when a company is brought on as an exclusive contract, they talk with the other garbage collection places in the area, and they give their respect to each other of not doing that further, if not going into that territory, which is kind of nice, but we'll also rely on Buddy to be able to do that, the owner of, so. Crazy. Any more questions about that? Okay, let's go on.
Thanks, Joe.
So, next item, we're going to be talking about zip codes and the boundary review process. So when I first came on, this was voiced by a couple of our council members that this is a process that we want to get started. So I did a little research, found out how this process works, and it all flows through the district manager for our postal service outreach, which here it would be days. So nothing with the local postal service or any postmaster in any organization, it all flows through that. What they're looking for when we do a proposal, there's no formal document that you have to put in place. They do like city backing. So when we do a proposal, I suggest that we bring council approves what the proposal is, and what all's in that proposal. And that will include our estimated growth based off of our last census to now, which currently, for my current estimations, which I'll show in that proposal when it does come, we have at least grown by about a third since that last census, just by looking at rooftops. So we have 3 larger subdivisions come in, and as far as households go, we have grown by about a third in just that one. With new businesses coming in, that's more places for drop-off, more places for pickup, and a lot of what this process is it cost-effective to do a new zip code, and then this is the first step in the process to get those stops in the future. Add to that, they talk about mail volume, which that takes both of those into account. One thing that I think we're going to lean on heavily as well is cultural identity, and it's for growing cities only, so not established cities. If you're creating your own unique cultural environment for a city, they take that into account as well when assigning zip codes for coastal boundaries. So these are the things that we're going to utilize to make our case for our own zip code inside of our boundaries. And then there's also an appeals process. If they deny the first time, in that appeals process, we can actually contact other representatives, whether that be local, or as everyone probably knows, our federal representatives have been one of the most vocal with this post office fund.
Yeah.
We do have liaisons that can help us with that.
Will you be working on that proposal?
I will,
When do you anticipate being able to bring that back to council?
I'm hoping that.
Okay, but if not, maybe the next month, depending on what other things pop up?
Right.
All right, great.
How does the delivery happen? Because now it comes from Loganville.
Yours
Not all-
does.
Not all of it.
Mine comes from Covington.
Yeah.
So nothing will change the delivery itself until we try to get our own post office after this fact. But without doing this piece first, we can never add our own post office for the most part. So our delivery would still be coming from Covington, Loganville, and Southside areas.
Okay. Yay, solid waste container amendment.
So next item on the agenda,
I read it and I'm good with it.
Put your stuff in your trash. You won't believe where our dumpsters are in this city.
I would too.
we have pictures.
Mm.
So this is to amend the code of ordinance of the city of Walnut Grove to regulate commercial solid waste containers and closures. So what this is going to do is going to add to section 12, TAC 103, containers of our ordinance for sanitation. Commercial dumpsters will be required to be on a concrete pad. They'll be required to be enclosed, especially ones that cannot place it behind your business. There are a few of those. Without giving any specific examples, we'll probably give a few right now. They will be required to be behind enclosures of fences, and if it's a chain link fence, it will be required to have a wrapping inside of that fence, specifically designed to make it a private area.
And we can institute this like after the fact, the people that already have dumpsters that are not in compliance, we can force compliance.
It says in here they have 4 months, right?
It does.
We would give them 4 months to be in compliance.
Okay.
And I actually spoke,
Okay.
I spoke with one of those business owners who was not in compliance, well, would not be in compliance. And she said, is this official notification? I go, no. I said, I'm just getting your thoughts on this. And she goes, oh, no, I think it's good because I know I don't even like where my dumpster is. She goes, but how long would we have? I said, 4 months. She goes, oh, that's easy. Okay. Because a pad, it's cement. And I know there's an expense associated with it. But right now, if you look around the city, there's dumpsters in the craziest places. They're not being kept behind enclosures. We talked with the owner of Southern Sanitation. We said, what do you do when they're locked? He said, we get keys and we get combinations. We go, we unlock it, we dump it, we lock it back up, or a combination. And I said, okay, that works. So it's all kind of working together to get it done. But this would clean up the city a little bit, look.
And beyond beautification, it's also health and a form of theft for people legally dumping. Right now, anybody that doesn't have their dumpster locked in some way, I would guarantee are experiencing some kind of dumping.
Yeah.
And then if you look at some of them now, after the fact, wind blows some of the trash that falls away, and then that just can't be done as well.
Would we need to also put into consideration something about, like when I order a dumpster for my house, a roll-off dumpster, do we need to go ahead and ascertain in here or put in here, sign in the ordinance that those are not included here, but roll-off dumpsters are also part of the mandatory using of whatever company we go with?
We could put a temporary clause in there. If you're gonna have it for X number of days, where it's not permanent.
Yeah.
That could be a clause.
Right.
Most roll-offs, you get them for like 21 days, and then after that, if you keep them longer, you're charged an extra fee anyway.
Yeah.
So,
But on here it says dumpsters
Right.
have to be on a pad.
Right.
Those are
Yeah.
technically dumpsters, but if they're defined.
Anything longer than a month,
Yeah,
though, would
yeah.
be
I mean,
not considered temporary.
Yeah.
And I would like to add a little bit to that about the possible consequence of not having that temporary piece. Things aren't permanent. Eventually, some city council members will come and go, mayors come and go. You could have mayor or school enforcement to have them go out and enforce that on somebody that is a temporary.
Right.
Right.
Those are things to think about as well.
Yeah, that's a good
another
idea.
caveat of that for the temporary. We had an issue with this before with people putting the roll-off dumpster in the city street instead of on your driveway. So, just something to consider.
Yep.
Because it could damage the road or it could block traffic, cause this, especially since we're going back to school tomorrow.
Okay.
That's all.
And we're moving.
So,
Solid waste. We're down to disaster preparedness. Yay.
That's me.
That's you. Ooh, Joe's
I
gone.
asked for this one.
Joe's gone. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, as y'all all know, or should have known if you paid attention at one of my meetings, I told you I was going to these webinars, and there have been 4 of them. The last one was today. I'm going to provide part of my takeaway from these webinars. I'm mainly going to read so I don't get off track. And I'm only taking from the first 2. I'm not giving you any information that I picked up on the second 2.
Do we have a handout? Okay.
No, and after the fact, if you want a copy of what I'm about to read,
Yeah.
more than happy to share. I have a copy for Lynn. So, the following comments that I'm about to make are intentional. They are meant to hopefully have impact of urgency in some areas. It's easy to think that we are unlikely to have a disaster or that we are well prepared for it, but based on my take on the sessions that were presented over the last month, I have concerns. I'm going to run down just a few things from only the first 2 sessions. Should we ever have a serious event? Who are our contacts? How do we know that information? Where is it written down? Who has copies? Are they up to date? How do we make contact? Do we have a unique entity ID for FEMA? In other words, who are our local EMA directors and contacts, points and/or people at the local level, county level, state and federal levels? If we need FEMA, Red Cross, or other assistance, who will make that contact? Are any of you aware that we cannot call FEMA ourselves? That must come at a county level. Who is authorized on our behalf with the county that will do that for us? Are we part of the planning process with the county? Per the experts and the classes I went to, if we are not, then we will be last on the list for aid and for help from those sources. Who is responsible for what locally? Where is that information stored? What is the chain of command? Are we waiting on the county to tell us what, who, when, and where? Who is designated to do our risk assessments? Do we have prearranged contracts with service personnel already in place, or are we suddenly trying to find someone? What happens if you can't find the people needed? How do we reach people? What are our multiple communications methods, not only for reaching out for assistance, but for getting messages out to the population? What do we do if technology fails? If the cells are out, if the landline is down, if the roads are too blocked to travel, what do we do? Are we prepared to stay in operation in the city? Do we have generators for City Hall? Do we have a generator for the sewage plant and a backup plan so that the sewage plant can always be in operational mode? According to these classes, that is the last thing we want to be non-functional in a disaster. Who is qualified to set up, keep check, etc., and who is their backup in the event that they're not available? Who knows where all our emergency equipment is, and is it regularly checked for being operational? Do we have cash on hand in the event electronics are not working and banks are not operational? Have we participated in or had any training drills along these lines? This is just a short list of information covered during the first session. I won't cover all of the session. Let me cover part of 2, which is considered the first 72 hours. Did you know that we need permits for debris staging areas, for burning, floodplain development, debris removal, demolition? We can get some of that pre-approved so we don't have to wait for those resources. Are you aware of the types of tracking that is necessary in order to receive funds? We must track everything right from the moment, and even right from the moment an event occurs and even before. If we don't have tracking beforehand, it can affect everything. Who is designated to do the tracking for our city? Are we prepared to be able to do that tracking properly? Without tracking, we get no funding, none. Who will track and log the root balls, the location of each root ball, the time and cost for each clearing? What was used to refill the hole? Who did it? How many hours did it take? How many employees or other workers? Was it outside the time frame for regular work hours? Or if in-house personnel, if it was not in-house personnel, who was used? Was it a contractor, county personnel, volunteers? Where did we dispose of those root balls? Who is keeping the mileage on the vehicles, the hours on the equipment, the employee hours and types of services done during this time? And these are only related to the event itself. Do our personnel policies cover employee roles in an emergency situation such as disasters? At what point do salaried employees become an hourly employee? If these are not in our policy, we could miss out on funding. Without proper information, record keeping, and documentation, we get no funding for salary reimbursements. Who has the forms on hand that will need to be filled out? Who knows where they need to go? And who has been trained on completing these forms? According to my classes, they can be difficult, and that's why many cities end up without funding. And you hear comments about, we didn't get money for this from FEMA, we didn't get money for that. And that comes from not being able to know how to do what needs to be done. Do we have resources on standby for assistance? Do we have an asset inventory, and who will be checking that and reporting? How often are things updated, and by whom? Are we pre-registered with FEMA? Do we know and understand FEMA's public assistance programs? Are we in compliance with their requirements? Are our policies up to date on who can spend what, where, and when in an emergency? Do we have a stock of essentials, and who tracks that now so that we can be reimbursed once they're used? As you can see, there's a lot to being prepared for something that we pray we never have to encounter. But I can't help but wonder, if you were to talk to the people in North Carolina after Helene, or the people in Texas, or the people in the Georgia areas being hit so hard by tornadoes, would they tell you, don't worry about planning and prep? That's it. Thank you.
Are you gonna be that person?
What do you mean?
Are you gonna be our contact? Well, let me go over a few things. We do have a IGA with the county.
Right.
Carl Morrow is the person who is in charge of the disaster preparedness for us. He's also our contact with FEMA. We do have all of that. Sewage, we have a generator over there, and before any big storm or any kind of action that's happening around here, that is double checked, and that's by our Public Works manager. He does have emergency equipment on hand, and when we know of a storm coming in, he's checking all of those things and making sure that those chainsaws and everything and vehicles are gassed up and ready to go and working. Standby assistance, we do have an agreement with the county, and when we had the last hurricane come in, after speaking with Brian, he went to the meeting. That was the preparedness for all of the counties. And he was there and making the contact saying, we might need your help, because they do come and they do help us out when we need them. And they did come during that time and help us with trees that were down and crossing the road and in the way. Cash on hand, no. But I would imagine before we have a big event, or if we think that there's going to be something like that coming in, we could always handle it.
We don't get notice for a tornado. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean.
I understand that. I understand that, but I think it's also very important to keep these things, I don't want to say in perspective. I understand why you brought it to our attention, and yes, I agree with you, it's very important. We could have someone from the city go to these meetings and be a representative, and if anybody's interested in being that person, we can get you signed up. Right now, I am the authorized person, and Joe has been added on because they're just going through these processes recently. But if there's somebody else who is interested in this or would like to be that person who could be that rep for the city, then we're certainly all ears about that. But I do understand why you're bringing this to the attention of the city. And it's very good, because these are things that we do need to think about in advance. Our employees do know that if there's a big storm, it's the expectation that they're here the next morning going around and getting things. We've had a few little glitches with that, but I think it's very clear to the employees at this point. Whether or not we need to have a salaried employee, for instance, our city clerk, I don't believe that's in our manual, and that is something that we can also add to our manual, that in case of emergency, our salaried employees become hourly employees and can receive overtime.
Well, it doesn't quite work that way, and that's part of why I wanted to make this is a good example of, the
just
more
said-
details, yeah.
You just said it should be in the handbook.
It should be in the handbook. What I'm saying is, you just don't convert them from salaried to hourly. You have to have very specifics of when that occurs, how that occurs, and then, of course, you have to keep separate their regular hours from, are they working on something with the event? That's what I'm talking about with,
That's what I was talking about.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
So that is something that we can look into. So yeah, there's a
I
lot of
hope we
stuff that
never,
we could
I hope
do.
we never need it.
No, I do too, I do too. I hope that we never need it, and I was very thankful the last time that big hurricane came through and it shifted away from us, because it still created a few issues. But that's something that we can talk about, and, I mean, are you interested in bringing to light a few more of those things? I mean.
Absolutely. I just, I wanted to try to create an interest in recognizing all the things that go into that, not only for council that might not know, because I learned so many things that I don't know. And this is just from my notes to things that hit me while I was sitting there listening. This doesn't include nearly all that they covered. And some of the best parts were after the meeting was over and the instructors were sitting there talking to one another. They did not cut off the audio and video, as well as listening to all of that. So, but one of the main things was that small cities get lost in the works when they have those agreements with counties if they're not careful. And they reiterated over and over again that if we're not part of the county's planning, then we would be at the bottom of the list.
Fortunately, we are part of it, and fortunately, we do have a good relationship with Carl Mara.
Right, yeah,
And,
and I asked to go to those classes early on. I started out with those classes several years back, and Carl allowed me to go, so.
Carl's great, and his department is growing, and he has other people who are working on other things, but he is the
Right.
contact for FEMA and for all of the cities and the municipalities in this
Yeah.
county. And
Yeah,
we
I
have-
was more concerned
we have to go
with
through
like the
Carl.
tracking and that sort of thing, as
We have-
making
yeah.
sure that,
that's what that IGA.
because we don't keep mileage on vehicles now in the way that it would need to be for that.
If a disaster came up, I can guarantee you, we would be looking at mileage, we'd be looking at hours, we'd be looking at everything to be reimbursed for all of those things. I'm pretty aware.
But
of
I'm
all that
saying
stuff.
the way you track it determines whether or not you can get that reimbursement.
I understand.
And that's where many cities, from what they were saying, missed the mark. But those are the type of things, and that's certainly one of the things that I had talked to Joe about, maybe one day us doing a workshop that's a little more informal, and that might be a good place for something of that nature.
I kind of have a feeling our iWork would help out with a lot of this equipment tracking, hours tracking, mileage, and everything else. That was part of
If it's up and running during a disaster.
Yeah. Well, it's a mobile app.
But there may be no internet, no electricity.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
What about the forms that has to be filled out? Do we have those, or can we get them and have them on hand?
Well, there's training for them. They say if you're not trained on them, you probably won't get them right. I mean, that's what I'm hearing at these classes, is that's why it's so important to make sure you take a look at all of it. And they've given a lot of links. When we're done, I will have all of that. I should have the videos available too, I'm hoping, and I will find
I
out.
believe this is part of our IGA with the county though, right?
It is, well, it's
That's
a
why we
separate
fall
IGA,
under
it's a
that.
separate IGA that we sign every, I believe, 5
Yeah.
years with Carl Mara.
And that's why we.
You know what I'm
fall
gonna
under
do?
that.
I'm gonna invite Carl to a work session, and I'm gonna ask him to come in and share with us the information about the IGA and any little details that we need to know as a council.
You know, And I'm not as concerned with what the county can do for us, because I'm familiar with Carl and how he works and how efficient he is, having been through COVID, and been a part of that, with what our county did. I'm more concerned with our city's preparation, is where my concerns fall. Not the counties, the things that the counties can't do for us. You know,
Well, let's hear from Carl
That-
about what it
that
is
would
we
be-
need to be doing. Yeah, there's no harm in bringing him in.
right.
I think if it's important to you to bring it to a meeting, let's bring him in and talk about what is important for the city to know and to be aware of, and their responsibilities, our responsibilities. I think it'd be great. We'll, maybe not in the next month, we have a lot of things coming up, but let's get him in before the end of the year and hear about it. Thank you for bringing that up, Max. You have a very good, valid point. Okay, anything, other questions about that, guys? Okay. Next up is changing a work session time to 10 a.m. Is that Erica?
I brought that up,
Okay.
yes ma'am. And it's just a discussion of, changing the work session time back to 10 a.m. And the evening work sessions are more difficult to attend for myself. Obviously, I'm making it here, so it's not, crazy. I do think it would, if, like, staff being here during the workday, I think that is beneficial, and also us having, like, fresh brains in the morning, I think that that's beneficial, versus going all day and having a 6 o'clock meeting and everybody's ready to leave and go eat dinner.
Especially on discussion items.
Right.
I agree with your assessment there.
And it's also for professionals, other professionals getting their opinion. It's nice for it to be done during the workday.
Yeah. It's considered of their schedules instead of expecting them to be here at 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Any other discussion? Thoughts? I've got a question.
Yes.
You're our city attorney. When I started out in this position, we used to have meetings at 7. And we discussed moving it to 6 o'clock because that would be better for everybody. And we switched it. Is a earlier meeting something that would work for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just some general comments. This actually falls opposite for me. It just so happens currently. A little more difficult for me to make the 10 o'clock, but I'll work around that. I have no issue with figuring out a way to make that work. I know that in the past, there has been some discussion of 10 o'clock. It was stated that that council was trying to avoid the public being available. And personally, I know that that's not the case and has never been to my knowledge. That I don't think any of our councils.
It was brought up though, and we discussed it.
It has been brought up, and I think when it comes to a workshop, a work session, in my opinion, that's a little different, because I agree. The people that need to come here, the engineers and the different people, we can probably get them easier during the daytime hours.
Absolutely.
Also, I don't think I would feel like I'm as rushed. I feel like I'm rushed in our work sessions. And that I don't have time to think through things, or like if I wanted to sit and read because I'm expected to vote on something next meeting and we didn't get it till tonight. I want to sit and read through for a minute and see if I've got questions, and I feel like by the time I glance at something, we've already moved on to something else, and I didn't get a chance to ask my questions. So I'm hoping that would change somewhat. We would feel less pushed for time so that we have more thorough discussions if we were at 10. I would hope that would be the case.
I agree with that.
Anyone else? Okay.
And we do video record now and have those available, so anybody can, even if they can't make the meeting, they can review after the fact,
Right.
which is a little different than has been in the past.
And there's no public comment during the work session either, so,
Because this meeting is for us to have a work session together to come to the ability to vote on agenda items. So, yeah.
Okay.
And you can always call a meeting in a different time and date if you have to push meetings.
Okay. Any other further discussion? No? This will be on the next agenda for the council meeting for a vote, okay?
thank you.
Yeah. Okay. That is it for the basic agenda. We are going to go into executive session having to do with personnel this evening. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
I make a motion to go into executive session.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
I'll show you what to do with the.
And we are going to stop the recording while we're in there, is that correct? And then start it back up?
We mute it and turn off the camera.
Okay.
There's no way to do that. It would make two separate videos.
Okay, mute it and turn off the
Yeah,
camera.
mute the
Okay.
mic, turn off the camera.
So we'll go in for person.
Wait, do we have to vote?
Yeah. All in favor of going into executive session? 4, okay, it's unanimous. So people in the audience, so you know, we go into executive session to discuss one of 4 things. Tonight we're going in to talk about personnel. Cannot tell you how long we're gonna be in there. We will come out if there is a decision on anything or a vote on anything, we will share that. If there's not a vote on anything, we will not share that. We will tell you there's no vote on anything, and we will just adjourn the meeting. Okay? So you are welcome to stay if you like. You don't have to, but you're welcome to. But I wanted you to know it might be a little while to be in there.
Okay, we're going back live.
Are we live?
Do we have
are.
dancers?
Okay.
I mean, there's 20 years, what's this argument?
Okay. Is there a motion to come back into regular session?
Yes, I will make a motion to
Is
come back
there-
into regular session.
Is there a second? And then Eric, okay. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor of adjourning, please raise your hand. Unanimous. That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Hooray, we did it.